In other words, if the economy has been growing at 3%, it's only growing at 2%. That's a technical depression. And that's what he's saying in this new book, The New Depression. So people are watching, oh, the stock market's up, everybody's happy and all this, but everything's inverting upon us. So just recently, the euro dollar curve inverted. Every time that has happened, it was followed by Lehman Brothers, and so this one is going to happen again. And that's why I'm saying to people, because I'm a gold and silver and Bitcoin bug, this is a good time to get into gold and silver now. I'm just saying right now, if you're a boomer, what this guy Marx wrote about was that 50% of our population would shift from, let's say, proletariat to poverty. That's what he was calling for in 1848. And when I saw 1974 come, and that's when they put us into ERISA, Employee Retirement Income Security Act, or the defined contribution, or the 401k, or the IRA, it shoved all of these amateurs, people with no financial education, into the stock market. And Jim Rickards and I are good friends, you can tell. But when we were kids, nobody was in the stock market. We're in the bond market. Remember that? And he says suddenly they needed to find a way to get some stupid people into the stock market. So they got the 401k, and all the boomers are in it. So we shifted from defined benefit pension plan. So Ford Motor Company has a defined benefit. So Ford Motor stood behind the retirement. And then when it went to, in 74, it shifted to defined contribution. And I've talked to Jim about this. I said, oh my God, that was the beginning of the end at that point, because it was pushing all of us, us boomers, into the stock market, not the bond market. I'm not buying gold because I like gold. I buy gold because I don't trust the Fed. And, you know, and these people actually listening to the Fed, got to be kidding me. The 700 PhDs. That's 700 people like my poor dad running the biggest Ponzi scheme going. I just don't trust the Fed. You know, what's his name? Ron Paul doesn't trust the Fed. You know, if you look at, if you understand this guy here, the Fed is actually a Marxist organization. So my strike price for Bitcoin is 6,000. So I think today is about 40,000. So I'm selling the money. So as my rich dad said to me, your profit's not made when you buy, not when you sell, it's made when you buy. And so you always want to be early into the market. It's the same as, you know, when I bought gold, it was $50 an ounce. I still have, I bought my first Kruger in 1972 in Hong Kong because it's illegal for Americans to own gold, which I thought was interesting. And that little Vietnamese woman yelling at me about spot, and she might give me a discount. Everybody wants a discount. I'm going, what is going on here? So the issue is people don't know what money is. That's the problem. We have no financial education in school. And I've made a fortune in Rich Dad, Poor Dad saying that we should have financial education at schools. But we don't. We don't even know what money is. So Bitcoin going up and down, I don't really care because my entry point is 6,000. It's always your entry point. And how many ounces do you have? How many coins do you have? But also, if it's going to crash, it's when you get out. The stock market is, it's not an all-time high, but it's pretty high. It adjusted last week. I feel for my baby boom friends. They're going to get hammered. It's as Jim Rickards says and Griffin says, everybody's saying, what is real? What is real? You know, and I think really that's kind of the question. So gold and silver are gods. There's no counterparty risk to gold and silver. They're elements of the periodic table. So God is the counterparty to gold and silver. Bitcoin is the network system. Same as Ethereum. It's the network. It's outside the control of the Fed. And so when people say that the Fed's going to shut down Bitcoin and all that, it's possible. They did that in China. Anything's possible. So I would just listen to idiots like me and go, well, maybe I should do something different than count on my Apple stock keeping going up. I have two properties. We have our own private police. So if you don't have your own private police, that's a consideration. And I talked to the private police force guy because he's an off-duty police officer with attachment to the headquarters. He says right now they brought in a new teacher to train police officers. So I forget the numbers now. But let's say they need 50 new police officers a year. They only have 17 in the academy. So the attrition rate is accelerating. But they bring in the school teacher to teach police officers how not to do, in the Marine Corps is called pugil, how not to use your fist. So they're training police officers to try and talk people out of killing people or something. I don't know what they're doing. But our problem is our education system. It's Marxist. Postmodernist education is Marxist. And so that's really the corruption is in our education system. And I love my poor dad. He was a smart guy, but he was a Marxist. He's not a Catholic. Understand what I'm saying? Just because you have a PhD and you make a lot of money doesn't mean you're a capitalist. So you look at most of these people in Hollywood and all that, they make millions of dollars, but they're not capitalists. They're Marxists. And they get that distinction. And I hate to say it again, but this guy said it all in this book. 1848, he was talking about America today. He talked about stage 1 and stage 2. Stage 1 was when capitalism shifted to socialism. That happened when we had Social Security, Obamacare. Everybody's on welfare now. So socialism is now complete in America.
Before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information. And it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
I have bad news for you. If you're not rich by now, you're screwed. And if you're in debt, you're even double screwed. How so, you might wonder? Well, the sad truth is that you're working your whole life to make someone else rich. The mega corporations, the banks, the politicians, everyone is getting richer. They get your money. And what is even worse, they get your time, they get your life. You are not even in a rat race, you're in a financial prison. But what could a solution for you look like? Honestly, I don't know, but I know what a solution for me would look like. It's very simple. I use whatever money I have and I multiply it with 1,000. This could make my life much easier and probably yours as well. If you have $1,000 available and multiply this with 1,000, I believe that this could solve some financial issue for the one or the other. Of course, if you're ugly, you would have to multiply it with much more than 1,000. My name is Marco Stan, and this is what I decided to do. I decided to 1000x my money. This is not a joke. I know what you may be thinking. What is this guy talking about? How should this work? This is not possible. Well, I made a detailed video where I laid out my plan. And some clever folks might even want to look at this plan and copy it and do exactly what I do. This is just a little hint on the side. You have two options. You leave, you forget what you have seen. You do whatever you're doing and you hope that somehow you get some other results. Good luck with that. Or you click the link below the video. You enter your email address because I'm not showing this to everybody. You at least watch my video on how I plan to 1000x my money. The choice is yours. Make the right choice. Join me. See what a different future you could have. See at least how I intend, how I plan to do the 1000x. So click on the link below, enter your email address, and I see you on the other side. Your Marco Stan.